Everybody, Lee Garden 3 going to be giving you some tips to play as the British today, because I tried to do a Panzer Elite guide, but unfortunately I suck as Panzer Elite, so I just didn't feel like it was justifiable to make it based on the games I've played. So I'm going to give you a startup guide to the British and my own personal strategy that I've been using recently that seems to work very well against the Wehrmacht. Being played by Chelsea Tiger today, from China, mainland China, just FYI, because he has a gripe at me about that. Yeah, it can work against PE as well, but anyway, let's get straight underway. First thing you always want to do as a British is queue a lieutenant. You can go for the Bren gun carrier, but I'd always recommend a lieutenant over the Bren gun carrier in most situations. Lieutenant wants to be capping. The moment you've done that, you want to be packing up your command truck, and you're going to be wanting to be moving him somewhere. So let's look at this map. Where's the best place to put him? Well, you always want munitions because you're going to be using infantry sections that rely heavily on munitions. So in this case, the safest and most secure location is the 16 munitions here, so I'm going to bunker down over there. Meanwhile, I'm going to be capturing the munitions with my lieutenant, and then I'll be bridging the gap here, because wherever your truck sits, that's where your new starting place is. So everywhere that's connected to this territory, once you sat down, is where all your income is coming from. So my opponent here, I think he's rank 11, he's going for the traditional anti-British strategy, which is pyros with flamers, machine gun squad, and a bike. A deadly combo, and especially dangerous if you think you're all safe and go for a mortar bunker. Rule number one against competent players, and this is going to be controversial, and people might hate me for this, don't go for a bunker early on, a mortar bunker, because it seems like it's too easy to counter for Wehrmacht players, because they know that's what most British people do. They like to place a defensive bunker. And really, it's better to be on the offensive, and that's what I'm going to prove to you today. So yeah, I'm going to be getting out the another infantry section, and here's another controversial thing that I do, is I go for another recon element. Now, this slows down your munitions quite significantly, but the thing is, with recon element on your British infantry sections, what does that mean? It means they can walk in enemy territory at regular speed and cap. As you can see, infantry sections without a lieutenant in enemy territory slow down. But with recon elements, they go back to regular speed. It's great for flanking early game, it's great for harass because they have the snipe ability as well. Costs 25 munitions, yes, and you don't want to be spamming it. But the thing is, with your high munitions, and as you can see, I've deliberately gone to catch my 10 munitions here, so I'm getting 36 munitions a minute, well 37. I can now use that ability to take down pyros and MG squads, which is what I intend to do against an early Wehrmacht rush. This is what you should expect. 9 times out of 10. I would only ever recommend, though, you go for 2 infantry sections with recon element, and not all the times. Recon element isn't great against Panzer Elite on smaller maps because they will probably go for an armoured car rush. But recon element infantry sections can hold their own against most units. They are great as they do not require the lieutenant, and you can push away units very quickly. As you can see, I'm pushing away that pyro. But as this happens, my opponent is coming in with his flame pyros, assisted with a Volksgrenadier and the MG. They always want to pin you at your base, and they want to kill you. So here's what we're going to do then. This is what you've always got to be prepared for. It's going to come pretty early on, 9 times out of 10. So I'm going to immediately take a snipe shot at the MG crew to try and weaken him. I'm going to ignore the flame pyro for now. I want this MG gone. Get the other sniper shot. It forces the MG down to one guy. He can't even start firing. I force a retreat. The flame pyro can be kind of ignored by and large, even though they can be dangerous. And I'm going to use my other recon element squad to flank and try and finish off that MG. And I do another snipe, and there we go. So the main threat, the MG, is out. He's going to have to rebuild it now. We're going to push out these pyros, and you see we've got the advantage. After you've got 3 infantry sections, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be wanting to be going for your next support truck, and you should have the resources to do so. So that's what I'm going to recommend doing. Wehrmacht also like to bring a bike to get the extended range for their MG, and it can eventually suppress you, I think. The bike isn't really a big issue, but it's an annoying harass unit. With recon element units you can keep up. As you can see, the speed difference is pretty substantial. And as for upgrades, so you might be thinking, what do I upgrade my 3rd infantry section squad with? Depends on what your opponent is doing. I normally go for a Bren carrier on the safe side because I'm always conscious of vehicles becoming an issue, because they're a big problem against the British early on. Alternatively, if you think your opponent is spamming infantry, then you're going to be wanting to go for heavier and more powerful units, such as I mean, like, you're going to want to be going for the grenade launcher, which is very effective. So as you can see here, he's bringing his flamer to try and get me, and do I get this infantry section? Oh my god, I do not remember. I don't know if I do. Yes, I do, just about, barely. I mean, you don't want to be losing an infantry section, by the way, guys. That is very bad. You want to be keeping infantry sections alive at all costs. So anyway, my opponent now down an MG squad is bringing in this lovely friendly sniper. Snipers are actually very effective against infantry. Does a good drain if you can stop them, which is another reason why I love infantry section with the Recon element upgrade, because they can get those snipes off. It's really the only way they can early counter snipe. I think I'm going to try and get the snipe off now. Do I get away with it? And there goes the shot. As you can see, if a Nazi or a Wehrmacht sniper is retreating, you have a 50-50 chance of hitting it with that sniper ability. It's always worth a punt if you get the chance. As you can see, my munitions is still at 70, so I've got plenty of munitions to get the job done. I'm going to secede the middle. As you can see, I still have no buildings. What I am rushing out now is the Stewart Tank. Got out a captain, which is what you need to bring out in order to get yourself a Stewart Tank or engineers. Well, actually no, engineers you can get straight away, but if you want a Stewart you have to build the captain. So then you might be thinking to yourself, okay, do I get Stewart or engineers? Once again, depends on your strategy. Engineers can be upgraded with a variety of abilities. They can get advanced repair. They can also get PIATs, which is quite essential for anti-vehicle defense, really, particularly against the PE and the Wehrmacht later on. As you can see, I decided to opt for grenade launcher, thinking, well, I haven't seen any tier 2, I haven't seen any upgrades yet, and he's laying mines. That's going to be a bitch. Yeah, this guy is laying mines to defend his machine gun emplacement. I'm going to flank with my Recon element, and you're going to see the grenade launchers go to work here. They are very deadly. They push enemies out of cover and everything. They're very, very useful. Using the lieutenant to give my men a buff so they can walk at speed. I'm going to have to retreat them out of there because I'm getting pushed. In the meantime, I'm cranking out my Stewart. And I've got my captain capturing places. And as you can see, the Recon elements are really good for harassing, capturing points. You want to be on top of that. You normally want to attack with 2 and harass with a 3rd in terms of capturing or flanking or whatever. That's what I like to do with my Recon element squads. Got the Stewart Tank out, thinking, yes, okay, he hasn't got any tier 2, so I was kind of like, well, I can push out really nice and early on. He's trying to bring in a flame pyro to push me out. I'm going to get the Stewart Tank out to force them off my capping point. I need the munitions. Thinking I can just charge in, however, I guess I do a bit of a stupid thing here. Let's just speed up. You can see I hit the mine. And I'm like, oh crap. Well, I can still go forward, right, guys? Yeah, I can still go forward. Oh. Yeah, so then it's immobilized, but it's still just in range to be hitting on the machine gun. As you can see, I tried to flank with the Recon element and get pushed out though. And we're going to now have to be starting to damage this bike. We're pushing the flame pyros back, using mass infantry to handle that. And I think now I'm getting out an engineer crew. Yeah, I get an engineer crew out, hoping that I can repair the Stewart, but now he has got a anti-tank gun. There's not a lot I can do there. Reinforcing at the back. Saving up manpower. Your next step will either be to get another infantry section, you might want to get another engineer, you might want to upgrade to the next tier to get heavier vehicles out like Cromwell's. It comes down to your own personal strategy and what the opponent is doing. My opponent is relying heavily on infantry, so I'm sticking as it is at the moment, seeing what I can do. I lose my Stewart Tank, but all well. I take out a Pyro, and I'm not scared of just firing out. I'm going to chase with the Recon elements against this AT gun. Going to get pinned by the MG. Going to focus down the bike instead. I should have moved up my lieutenant here. That is a mistake. But luckily I have enough bodies on the ground to kind of just force him back anyway. And that's a beautiful little anti-infantry shot there. Nearly gets those bastards. And yeah. So, I'm floating manpower at the minute. That's probably not good. You don't want to be doing that. But now my opponent's getting desperate. I like one hit kill. You can see how good those guys are. And now I'm planting mines. This is another thing you want to be doing with your engineers, and British people do not do it enough. You want to be planting counter mines, because Wehrmacht and Panzer Elite do not expect counter mines. You should really use that to your advantage. So anyway, he's coming back out. I've got units there ready. I'm covering my grenade launchers, who are just wrecking the kills. I think they're on 9 kills already. Covering them with the Recon element. I'm going to retreat them out of there. Got the other Recon element there. And got the captain decapping the fuel, because I'm scared of that infantry. And this guy calls me a smurf, which means like he thinks I'm on a fake account. Ironically, I'm not. I just normally lose out in late game battles. I'm extremely good early game, but as the game drags on, particularly with the British, I get a bit bored and thinking I don't know what to do. Another great thing with Recon element is you can see mines, you can then take them out. Really good for forward scouting. And then we're going to just speed this up here. So this guy has nothing left. He's lost them all in assaults. He's just going to charge out with grenadiers, and I'm saving it for commando glider just to supplement my infantry. And I've got a armored command truck out with my munitions. And that's all hunky-dory. I'm going to flank that MG. I'm going to capture it. Well, hoping to capture it, but I think he gets blown up. I'm going to push forward with the infantry section. Kill those guys. As you can see, the flame push is stopped without any need to worry about your units. So I will now go on to game 2, and we'll have a little look at that as well. So hope you enjoyed that one.